past, present, and future. So beyond space, creation and destruction happen simultaneously. So in the dimension of time, start the past, present, and the future. But in Akashic readings, there is no a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened. Manchi Kailasa Sagadnipitam, the incumbent emperor of the Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam, the present 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shamala Pita Sagadnipitam, the present Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akada, the largest apex monastic order. The Supreme Pontiff, Hindu leaders. And Supreme Pontiff is revered as a teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read, and watched. He has authored 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 languages, in Tamil, English, and Sanskrit, enriched over 1 billion lives digitally, and he is respected as the commentator of all the sacred scriptures like the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Shiva Sutras, the Brahma Sutras, the Rudrakanyas, the Rudras, the Rishis, Rishikas, Bhairavas, Bhairavis, Sannyasis. And he is the establisher of the largest Hindu university, Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University, in the world with satellite campuses in 150 countries. He is the establisher of 1,000 plus Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems. But we will now be moving on to the witnessing the demonstration of extraordinary powers of the third eye by the Balasans and Nithyananda yogis. So we'll be having
where one awakens the ability to scan and see everything and anything just as they see with their 2 eyes. And you will also be witnessing the extraordinary power of bodies learn. What are Shaktis? In the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every person is hardwired to be able to manifest the 463 plus extraordinary Shaktis. Shaktis manifest from the fundamental cognition, that you are the divine, and manifest from a deep space of oneness with Paramashiva, from the space of enlightenment as a side effect of through ordinary beings in extraordinary ways, just after initiation from the avatar. And they lead you towards enlightenment, whereas siddhis express from tapas or penance, unchanging beyond time, space, form, and causality. As a fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest, and Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs the Panchakritya, or the 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Trobhava, and Anugraha. Creation, holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Just to revive all these extraordinary Shaktis, Paramashiva has landed as a 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva and is reviving all these lost sciences. And certain gurus who recognize Swamiji as an avatar at a very young age and have trained and taught Swamiji to revive these sciences. And so how do we awaken these divine Shaktis in us? How do we manifest these extraordinary Shaktis? Every ultimate truth, Jnana,
वासामपि दीक्षानां मुक्तिः फलमखण्डितम् अविरोधात् भवन्त्येव प्रासङ्गस्तु भुक्तयः न च सद्गतिः तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन गुरुना दीक्षितो भवेत्. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, energy of Kundalini, our own highest inner potential energy, as the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets energies that heal, empower, transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness. Experience the power of initiation through a range of exclusive programs conducted at the ashram. Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Pramana, the unchangeable truths revealed in the source scriptures by Paramashiva. Next is the Apta Pramana, the experiences and results of Nithyananda Paramashivam. This millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation. And last is the Pratyaksha Pramana, or the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. So, where do we scriptures? And they are a superior authority for Hindus. Agamas are the scriptures where the applied technology, the applied science is expanded. Without further delay, let us get ready to witness a unique and exciting demonstration of the power of third eye. So the power of third eye is where one awakens the ability to read with a blindfold. So let us see the Shastra Pramana with the power of third eye, which comes from the Manasodadhyat Lakshaye Lakshamuttamam. The translation goes, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without attaining the space of Paramashiva. The next is Apta Pramana, where it goes back to the time of Bhagavan Krishna, when Bhagavan Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye. In the Hindu Purana Bhagavad Gita by Arjuna, as he sees Bhagavan Krishna through the third eye. Natumam shakyase drashtum anena eyes of yours, therefore I grant you the divine third eye. Behold my cosmic opulence. Next is the Atma Pramana. The Swamiji beautifully shares in his own words. The first experience that I was able to see everything around me above now. The empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. So you can see the study measures compare the metabolic cell activity of the brain in conscious and meditation of the rest of the brain. So this is the observation from scientific experimentation. And now you will be witnessing the live Sakshi Pramana. And 10 years old and a Balasant of the Nithyananda Gurukul. She is going to be manifesting the power of third eye in front of all of you today. I have a medically tested eye band. You can see in front is a complete opaque sheet and behind is a thick sponge. You can see that there's a strap to comfortably strap the eye band to Ma Kaladhara's head. So you can see that this eye band has no gaps, no holes from between the sponge. Open inside this eye band. There's no possible way of light entering in this eye band. So I'll be placing this eye band on Ma Kaladhara's eyes. You can see that everything is completely the same. I'm not going to be making any changes to the eye band. I'll just directly place it on her eyes. So you can see that the eye band is down. Yes. So now Ma Kaladhara is going to be manifesting the power of third eye for all of you. So I request the YouTube comments to be projected, and all of you can go ahead and medical terms, scientific terms, anything you want on the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, and Ma Kaladhara is going to be. Yes, and Ma Kaladhara, I would like you to turn around again. So you show that there's no wires, there's nothing. So you can see that there's no wires around Ma Kaladhara's head. It's only FUL as posted. Om Sarve Bhavantu Niramayaha Sarve BANTUMAKASHCID Dukha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinas Sarve Shanti Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And Ma Kaladra was able to read that exactly. And even if she was not able to pronounce the word, you can post medical terms, scientific terms, and you can even post in the language of Tamil. So Ma Kaladra knows how to read Tamil. Anybody who is Tamil can post any comment in Tamil, and Ma Kaladra will be reading it out. So I have 3 storybooks, and there in these 3 these are 3 random storybooks, and in these 3 storybooks there are a total of 31 pages in the first book, 30 pages in the second. These any one of these 3 books, and Ma Kaladra, you can post in the comments and post which book you want Ma Kaladra to read, and you can also post a page number, and Ma Kaladra will be reading it out. So this is book 1, this is book 2, and this is book 3. Any one of the viewers can. So I'm showing these 3 books to the. So I request all of you to go ahead and continue posting. Ma Kaladra is eagerly waiting to manifest this extraordinary Shakti, third eye in front of all of you.
Seven search tool has posted. Picture is too small. Yes, I. My yoga plan is showing the picture closely now.
You want page 30 to be read? Okay, so the camera. Yes. Yes, so Ma Kaladra has chosen this page, and you can see how accurate it is. It is page 30, which Ma Kaladra has chosen.
Yes. 7 Searchful has posted Tales of VALBU.
So you can see how this is accurate, page 30. Yes, Ma Kaladra, you can go ahead and start reading, or you can actually describe
With a mustard yellow color shawl, and there is a pillow behind her which is light blue, and both of them fighting, and the purple color dressed person is holding a sword, and here they're showing the picture of them fighting.
And you can see how Ma Kaladra described that there's a girl wearing a mustard yellow shawl, and that there are two a man in a purple dress is fighting with the girl in the yellow shawl, and the girl is running, and the purple man she was able to read the whole thing. Yes, and I encourage all of you to continue posting more page numbers. You can post. We have. Yes, Ma Kaladra, why don't you go ahead and read the next comment?
Ma with an exclamative mark, and she has posted, "So proud of you," with the 2 dots and a closed bracket, and expression of me, I am Nithyananda,
Which has 90 pages. We have 3 books in one. So this is 3 in 1. So you can choose any book. So even in this.
Expressions of me, I am Nithyananda has posted the one with the red border.
So Ma Kaladra, you can go ahead and choose. This book has only 30 pages in it. Yes. So okay. So okay. Makaladra, why don't you go ahead and read?
Yes. Expression.
Yes. So Makaladra has chosen correctly page number 22.
There are two males, and the first person has a grayish gray but little purple hair, and he's light pink, and the person next to him is wearing a light green turban with a lotion, and there are four bolsters which is there next to them, and the sofa which they're sitting on is
Kaladara beautifully described that there is two people sitting up. The first person is wearing a purplish pink kind of dress with a coat on top, and how the second person is wearing a green how many cushions are there, how many pillows are there, and how they are sitting, in which way they are sitting. She was able to see to so many details, how so accurately she was able to read and see through her third eye. It is the whole time, and she was able to see with her eyes closed. So that is a very amazing demonstration of the power of third eye. Next, we will be manifesting the power of body scanning. So you will be witnessing the Balasants and the Nithyananda yogis doing a body scanning. So, and then the Balasants and the Nithyananda yogis will be coming and doing a live body scanning for all of you. So we'll be coming back and joining with you after a short break. Where one awakens the ability to scan illnesses, diseases, body problems, medically diagnosed issues, and even be able to reveal the solution. The, the unique thing about body scanning is that the third, but when they follow the solution Paramashiva gives, they actually get healed of the problem that they are aware of. Because the solution which Paramashiva gave was for the root cause of the problem. So let us now chant the Shastra Pramana. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constituted principles of your whole body, Swadeha, or of the whole universe, simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are next, you will be seeing the Apta Pramana for this power of body scanning, which comes from the life of a Siddha named Tereyar. Tereyar was one of the prominent Tereyars to perform the open head surgery and remove the frog from the person's brain. And after the surgery is completed successfully, the person is healed and completely cured of the headache. Thus, he gained the name Tereyar. Next is the word of body scanning. Swamiji beautifully shares, only when I had a multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore for medical checkups related to that. And at that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in different organs of mine. And Swamiji beautifully shares that he used allopathy as a second opinion to verify his findings. And last is the Sakshi Pramana, this extraordinary power. And all of you also can manifest. So you're seeing, and you'll be thinking, wow, even the participation, the live demonstration of body scanning happening in front of your eyes by the Balasants and the Nithyananda yogis. So now I request all of you to continue posting, call your family members, call your friends, show them that they can manifest this power. by the Balasins of the Nithyananda Gurukul. So along with me, I have Ma Soni, Ma Nitya Brahmayogananda and myself who will be manifesting this extraordinary power of body scanning for all of you today. So I request the YouTube comments to be projected and all of you body scanning about healing her diabetes, please. So Ma Brahmayoga, you can do the body scanning for Ma Nitya Mahajalandhar Sthitananda's sister. And anybody else, please continue posting your comments. Please post. So we'll three be chanting the Mahavakya together. Om Nithyananda Shivoham. Ahmedaya, Paramashiva has revealed two colors. First thing I was able to see is like a navy blue color, but it's the chat and confirm whether whether the scanning was correct or not. And you can also share how you felt when the Balasin did the scanning. Yes, Ma'am Brahmayoga, you can go ahead.
Yes, so Ma Mahajalandra Sthitananda, Paramashiva revealed to me that for your sister Mayuri, both of them, she has to mix them together and make a paste. And she should have a whole tablespoon of it. She should eat it as it is. And then only she should even drink water and have anything else. So if she follows this simple solution for 1 month, it will heal.
Oh, wow. Jalandhar Sthitananda has posted, I would like to move to India and first to Europe, please, where my husband is. What do I need to be aware of that is blocking me in moving, please? Okay, first, what is correct for you, Ma? So you can ask this question to Devi Parashakti. She will be guiding you and telling what is right. But Swamiji has for now told anybody who is out of India, best not to move into India as
In the morning with empty stomach.
yes, that is a very simple solution and a simple scanning, but amazing how she was able to see through her third eye and scan even and reveal the solution. So I your comments in the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. Okay, so Ma Soni, okay, so Ma Mahajalan. And how do you feel? This is not a power which any normal kid can do around the world. How do you feel being able to scan another person's body and being able to reveal what problems they have? Why don't you go ahead and share?
Okay, so I would like to share one volunteer was chosen for me to do a body scanning for them, and I did the body scanning, and like that was the first time I was going for a demo and doing a body scanning live for someone. So I was really nervous, and then but even though I was nervous, I still did the body scanning, and I asked Swamiji, Swamiji, what should I tell him? What is the problem he has? And then Paramashiva Swamiji showed that he has recently gotten a doesn't have it then it's wrong. If he has it then it's correct. So like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether I should say it or so and then I was just sitting there for a few minutes not knowing what to do. But then after that I decided okay, and he was so shocked. He didn't have any words to say. He couldn't say anything, and he was just looking at me, and he couldn't say anything. He was so shocked because it was didn't end, and I just stayed because I know it will be correct because after all Swamiji has revealed it and Paramashiva has revealed it.
So beautiful. Just with that simple trust on Swamiji, you're able to reveal and completely confidently say, this is the problem you have. And I did the house scanning for him. And I revealed that he is on the 3rd floor. And he was like, no, I'm not on the 3rd floor. I'm on the 4th floor. And then immediately, one of the Balasins immediately asked, Aya, are you sick? I'm living on the 3rd floor. And then I continued the scanning. And then I was like, you have a guitar. It's next to your sofa on the corner of the wall in front of one, it's kind of like a closet kind of thing. In front of that, exactly how it was. He had a guitar right next to the sofa in the corner of the house, and the black case was a little open. Tell that there is a guitar in his house and it is in this position. It is leaning against the wall and the black case is open. It's just the trust on Swamiji. Just with the trust on Swamiji. Whether we get it right or no, at the end it is all Swamiji's grace. Even if we get it right, the credits go to him. Even if, and there is nothing called it not being accurate. Everything which Paramashiva reveals is accurate. Sadashiva Priyananda ready to start the next session where you will be learning about Devi Parashakti herself. So now we thank all of you for joining. Please stay tuned. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda demonstrating the powers of Paramashiva. And just through the initiation, as Ma Nitya Yoga Prananda, who had been just, and we can see every single day how so many people are being benefited. So how so many people are asking their questions, are having their bodies scanned, and are seeing literally the powers of Paramashiva. We are celebrating the happening of the avatar on planet Earth, as he is manifesting as Devi Parashakti, who is this divine cosmic being. How do we connect with her? And how do we ensure that we can, in some way or form, receive her blessings? Chants, sacred chants, which is dedicated to Lalita or Devi Parashakti, and it describes her beauty and her valor, her divine qualities, of Devi Parashakti. Now, in these next slides, we will be entering into the next segment with the Dhyana Shloka to interact with each and every one of us, to bless each and every one of us. Devi Parashakti is the ultimate, pure, divine feminine consciousness, and she is the embodiment of the cosmic as well as the ultimate embodiment of life itself. And we connect to her as our mother, and she has the ability to literally take away all our fears. Priyananda Swami as well, to introduce to each and every one of you who is Devi Parashakti. Let us first begin with the Dhyana Shlokas and meditate on Devi and invoke her presence among us.
Mapina vakshoruham panibhyamali ratna jasakam raktotphalam bibhrati saumyam ratna gatastha rakta charanam dhyayet paramambikam.
On a splendid bus, one hand her twirling the jewel cup, and the other twirling a red lotus.
The next Dhyana Sloka is
body with her eyes full of compassion and holds the news, the gold bow and the flowery arrow in her hands. She is surrounded on all sides by power.
She is the source where the Big Bang and black holes go on. Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source energy, the source power from which all of us came, in which all of us are even now, and in which all.
And she is gracing us, answering all of our prayers, attending and giving our boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, and
blossomed as Premkara, filled as Parashodasi, living in 40 triangles, the Kailasa Swamini, who is in Kailasa Sripura Chintamani, Parashodasi, sitting as a part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari, who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nithyananda, Ivana, Samraja Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nithyananda. I came here as Nijavatara. With great compassion, I am blessing, listen, people to do good to all of you. I
blossoming into two as Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as three Shaktis, Icha, Kriya, Jnana, Shakti, and growing as the four Vedas, expanding as 5 Panchabhutas. Meenakshi is the form of Nithyananda. I came to bless every one of you.
So literally, you are seeing Paramashiva and Parashakti, right? When you're having the darshan in the screen. So how to dakshina? So it can be of any lowest value. It can be even 1 paise or even 1 cent.
Now you can offer that to Devi, how much it adds to your sentiment that really Devi Parashakti is there. And ultimately, you'll not take the Devi Darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality and lifestyle. The betel nut, the banana, and the coin. So, and it's all arranged in a plate here, as you can see. The coconut and the red bangles, as well as the red vestram, is also optional. But this betel leads to Devi Parashakti. How can we ask her questions and interact and start interacting personally with Devi Parashakti? Ask her our questions and request her boons, request her energy in our lives, request her guidance, whatever it might be. On YouTube, you should first ensure that you are a member of Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. And this will give you access an array of more than 7,000 YouTube videos and all the darshans, dikshas, able to enter into the chat any of your questions or your prayers on the right-hand side. So make sure that you're able to do those steps on YouTube.
Yes. So questions in the comment section under the live stream.
And many of you are frequent users of Twitter, so you can also ensure that you are following the Twitter handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism at Sri Nithyananda on your reply and to ask your questions and receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti.
The next social media platform is the Instagram account. So Sri Nithyananda is the official Instagram account, and you can follow that in the Instagram and ask your questions in the comment section.
Yes, and perhaps you can use through kailasa.org. Now, we have another option that you can also do for even making donations or anything that you'd like to do today. So we'll be going through that in the later segments of today's program. Now we will understand the Devi yearning for someone to take care, to give us boons, to take care of our lives, and to give us protection, as many of us are struggling to do so in our lives on the outside today. But Devi Parashakti has not only attended to us as Indians and being protected at all times. Devi Parashakti has literally given us so many of the most beautiful gifts through child, through any storm, whatever it is. We are seeing how Devi Parashakti is literally doing that. And she is guiding each and every one of us as a humanity as a whole. So in this next segment, we will be under the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Hindu Yonism, or the immunity, or the black fungus disease. So many different ways Devi Parashakti has given. Yes. Now, every one of us understands the after effects of the Pralaya, where humanity is still undergoing the after effects of the cosmic deluge and thousands of deaths due to the global pandemic and emerging fungal epidemic and mental health issues.
Yes. So why did this happen? So what has caused this? Who is behind this, and how could we have avoided this? So what is the solution for this? So in this segment of this program, we would go
175 million confirmed cases, and the top worst affected countries being USA, India, and Brazil. And we can easily see how the entire country, India, is undergoing so much of turmoil. And here we can see that India is the 6th most depressed country, 6.5 high, and the suicide is one of the biggest causes of deaths in India in groups 17 to 24, 15 to 24. And that is a very alarming age because it is the youth that is being directly affected.
large. So how could we have prevented this? So we will now listen to Parashakti's revelation on the 31st of May.
ஆமா என்று கேட்கின்றாய், நன்றாய் தெரிந்துகொள், சொல்வதைப் புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக 2020 பாரதம் முழுவதும் 12 ஜோதிர்லிங்கமும் பாத யாத்திரை செய்திடவே என் மகன் முறையாக கைலாய நாட்டின் தலைவனாக நிறை மரியாதையொடு நல் மதிப்பொடு என் நிஜா ஓம் ஓம்.
Yes. So what Parashakti is going to happen? Let us now listen to Bhagavan.
Amarnath, 1 year with 10,000 people just walking all over India to spend time with people. 2020 there will not be any program other than enjoying the river banks, forests, and how the Buddhism spread. 10,000 monks walking from village to village. What will happen? That's only monks. Here power manifesting 10,000 people. The whole village will be manifesting powers. All the Balalayam, everything. Balalayam is going to be like the same structure outside with one stone tower, gold coated. It will be something like a 40 to 50 murtis will be worshipped, and where the archanas. See, in the main temple, there will not be any archana or anything, because just for darshan itself, there will not be time. Like Tirupati, you can only have darshan and arti, the camp for arti. No other worship is allowed in the main temple. So all the archana, all the other offerings, like people will offer the archanas and other, everything will be done to the Utsava Murti, which will be kept. So by next year, the Balalayam will be ready. So 2019 full year I will be conducting the programs, and 2020 is Jayanti. Full year, Jayanti to Jayanti will be Padayatra. Before that, we will make 10,000 people power manifestors, where people can see me, where they are living. I can't be waiting for people to come where I am living. So 2020, before that 10,000 people will be ready to walk with me. How will you visualize what will happen if 10,000 power manifestors enter into a village and ask people, tell me your problem now, come on, let's sort it out. Understand, 1,200 years carvings are there. Even Srirangam temple, the whole carving is there. Srirangam temple gives a week by week the whole picture of male baby and female baby. Any of you have seen that? Chunk of 80, 90 to be displayed in this Balalayam. Work is going on all of that. We are also going to tell you the science of temple building story. Two community from India moved. One is agriculture community, another one is business community. These two community only traveled.
Yes. So since the age of 10, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been preparing for the Padayatra to save Nadu, where he is conducting a huge satsang on the title Anandam Selvathai Inikum.
And he continued to conduct so many programs, enriching many people, giving that.
And again in 2005, this is in Rasipuram in Tamil Nadu, he is conducting another satsang in the title Ain Guru. What is the need for the Guru? Programs.
There's the Nithyananda program in Delhi.
And you can see the birth star celebration Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism happening in Tiruvannamalai in 2005. Huge crowds of people actually swarming around him, waiting for his darshan and healing.
ends in Adi Kailasha Satpatipita on Guru Purnima Day.
And this is the Shakti Spurana program picture, the Dhyana Spurana program, which the Supreme Pontiff himself conducted in the Sapta Yagam in July 2006 in Salem in Tamil Nadu. So you can see the various pictures where devotees are actually participating in the Homa, and the Supreme Pontiff himself is conducting the Sapta Yagam, the Homa, in Salem.
In 2006.
Yes. So the Nithyananda Spurana program was being conducted in Salem in Tamil Nadu in the 27th, 30th of July in 2006. But however, the anti-Hindu elements have really made it impossible to do the re-energizing process by driving away the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism out of India.
சொல்வதை புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் படுபாவிகள் ஓடத்தின் மாலுமியை ஊர்விட்டு துரத்தினார்கள். என்ன நடக்கிறதென்று பார். மறுபடி மீண்டும் பாரதத்தில் பட்டு பாத யாத்திரை செய்த பிறகு மட்டுமே நீ அங்கு செல்ல வேண்டும். அதுவரை உன்னை காத்து செல்லாதே.
Devi revealed that the only solution for this pralaya to end in India is if the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's feet touch the ground in India, and the Padayatra that was planned for years is actually conducted, and the round we see what the great rishis had revealed, that Kali Yuga would be in, forewarned us what to.
Sampraptam Pandurandana Tato Gacchami Devasya Varanasim Mahapuri Asmin Kali Yuge Ghore Lokha Papa Nuvarthinaha Bhavishya.
This Kali Yuga is the worst of the 4 yugas, ages in all the world. People are sinful and forget the dharma of the 4 varanas and the 4 ashramas. In fact, men are.
Bhagavan Ravihi Dwapare Dhaivatam Vishnuhu Kalau Rudro Maheshwaraha. Brahma is the presiding divinity or lord for Krita Yuga. The Treta Yuga, it is Bhagavan Ravi, in which appeared Sri Rama. In the Dwapara Yuga, the presiding divinity is
To protect humanity. Paramashiva himself descended into the human form in the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidan, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Paramashivoham.
And I tell you, O Hindus, don't be afraid. I am back with the same signs. We are going to be rich. Before it was going to be put off, I have happened. Only ambassadors. Because no time, I have to get up and come directly. ஓம் ஓம் உலக மக்களே கேளுங்கள். கலி முற்றி கலி கழிந்து புதுயுகம் சத்தியயுகம். மக்களே, நித்யானந்தன் வடிவம் தாங்கி நாமே இங்கு வந்திருக்கின்றோம்.
So Devi Revelations translate Yuga will blossom as Satya Yuga, be blissful.
So for this huge Kirimi Bojanam not to come to India, 2020 I had planned to do Padayatra throughout India in 12 Jyotis, all these truths from sacred scriptures of enlightened living you can see in these various pictures.
Even as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 14 and 15 years old, all of his classmates were called a yatra, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism
and his unforgettable pilgrimage trip.
And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continued walking the length and breadth of India, reaching more and more people and preparing each
Kailasa Enlightenment Ecosystem in Tiruchengodu in Tamil Nadu on the April 14, 2001. You can see in the picture. And he named it as Ramakrishna Dhyana Peetham. Deeply with his presence and his energy.
In 2004, the
Purely and guided individual souls not just to physical spiritual sites, but supernal spiritual realms.
And in 2006, the Padayatras were taken to the next level with the Kodigan Radayatra, with crores participating.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and culminated with the consecration of the Garbha Mandir for the Nithyanandeshwara Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti and Swayambhu Nithyanandeshwara in Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham. So the deities were energized as Archavataras to radiate the energy of
to create spiritual energy centers in India to create a safe haven for this great pralaya.
So in 2008, the avatar created
जनमो गिरिशाय विष्टाय जनमो मेरुष्टमाय च शुमते जनमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय जनमो बृहते च वर्षीयते जनमो वृद्धाय च संवृद्धने जनमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय जनम आशवे चाय च प्रतिसर्याय जनमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय जनम उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमश्वोप्याय च अवसान्याय जनमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय जनम श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय जनम आशुषेणाय च आशुरथाय जनम शूराय च अवभिन्दते जनमो वर्मिणे च वरुथिने जनमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने जनम श्रुताय च श्रुतसिप्याय जनम सूप्याय च सरस्याय जनमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय जनम कूप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्षाय च वर्षाय जनमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय जनम ईर्ध्याय च तप्याय जनमो वात्याय च रेश्म्याय जनमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवधराय च नमः तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नमः ईरण्याय च प्रपत्याय च
Kodigan Radayatra and garnered international
நின்பதம் கண்ட என் மனோ நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சக்கரம் அனகதமும் இனிமையோடு திறந்ததே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே நித்ய மற்றவர் கண்டு மறைகள் எல்லாம் கழன்று விசுத்தி அதுவும் அசுத்தியானதே விசுத்தியை தீர்க்க விமலனின் பதம் விரைந்து இங்கு வரவேணுமே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய.
Yes. And wherever the avatar's feet have graced the planet Earth, there the seeds have been of super consciousness that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has created. Kailasa and Erode, which was the Adi Nithyananda Paramashivam
the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna
in San Jose.
And you can see Kailasa in Seattle.
Texas.
Supreme Pontiff himself. Kailasa in Oklahoma City.
Kailas in Phoenix, Arizona. Kailas in London, Scotland.
Kailasa in Scotland, Kailasa in Netherlands. The various ecosystems established across the world, like Kailasa in Slovakia,
Belgium.
And you can see Kailasa in Mauritius, Kailasa in South Africa, Kailasa in Salem, which is established by Supreme Pontiff himself, and then Hosur in Tamil Nadu. This is the Pattanam ecosystem, Kailasa in Pattanam.
Kailasa, which is the Yogini Sarvinyapita.
Kailasa in Thiruvanmiyur, Chennai, Kailasa in Alangulam, Kailasa
in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia,
and Kailasa in Guadeloupe.
All the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism created all of these Kailasas to ensure humanity survives and created the
Millions of people around the world.
And more than 2,500 satsang centers have been created. Padaka mandirs and home temples have been operating as de facto
Kailasa, silently preparing each one for what was to come in the future.
In 2017, devotees in Malaysia planned a Padaka and executed it successfully, with thousands participating, with the dying Hindu population in Malaysia being reinvigorated. Conducting for the past 26 years, with 26 plus years of humanitarian service, over 1 billion free organic nutritious meals being served continuously in the US, Canada, UK, Slovakia, Switzerland, and France.
And you can see world's greatest digital media platforms, over 1 billion views through websites. Like kailasa.org, Nithyananda.
And 1 billion e-citizens in over 100 countries enriched with and created the most successful communities in the world. And here you can see a map.
Education and development of human potential, sharing the practical applications of Hinduism and its signs of enlightenment through which we have made breakthroughs. So we have seen so much has been contributed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the revival of Sanatana Hindu. So with that, we will be moving to the next segment of this program after a short break.
We can make to Devi Parashakti. Now, many of you know and are a part of this beautiful Hindu tradition where guide in every single step of the way. He's our personal guide as we are making steps in our lives, as we Hindu Dharma, the different Jayantis or the different Brahmotsavams, or our thus far, and blessed us with so much. And we also ensure that we request their blessings and their guidance further in our life. In previous times, perhaps we would have been so happy to be able to interact, to go to the temple for every single blessing, for every single temple. But in this day and age, as the internet is only what is available to us and we are in global lockdown, it is so hard to find a way properly, effective rituals to manifest your reality as you want it in your life through all of these different offerings. Now, understand that offering is a giving of, in avatar lands, the offerings are purely a part of the grand Leela played out for the only purpose of enlightenment.
So we will now invoke Gama Kutojvala Manonmani Swarupam.
And the English translation. Moon-like face holding the Vedas on hand, fire in eyes, with lotus flower gracing and blessing hand.
Vadanam Vedahastam Dadhanam Savye Padmam Varadama Pare Chabayam Chakshamalam Divyairabaranai Vibhushitatanum Brahmadi.
Translation. I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes glowing like the moon and holding the Vedas, lotus engracing, blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments and she is worshipped by Brahma and other many.
Hiranyam Agnerakam Priyatamam Babhuva Somasyaikham Insitasya Parapatata Apamekam Veda Samreta Ahustatte Hiranyam Trividasta Vise.
Long life. Now we all should understand that gold is a divine element. Many of us value when it's a gift in gold. We already understand that, but we don't understand the next level, the quality that is actually divine and sacred in gold. In fact, it purifies.
So you can see that gold is present in all this civilization. Everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold, and ritual feasts were even offered in golden bricks. So when one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee, and it was in abundance.
The Hindu civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. The Indus River was called Hiranyamaya, or gold in Rig Veda, and the river Saraswati was called the Hiranyavak, that was gold. And they applied this super science that Paramashiva had gifted on planet Earth in all the different aspects of the whole life and lifestyle in the Hindu civilization.
Offerings to Devi Parashakti, the first offering is the E-Hundi offering. So the Shastra Pramana describing Devi Parashakti says, Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Gamya, Bhakti Vash.
Realized through true devotion, she can be won over through true devotion, and she removes all fears. Now, if there is any fear in the minds of devotees, Devi is the one to be sure to remove that fear absolutely compassionately and without asking for anything in return. It is stated that the purpose of our lives and so on. The role of the divine is known and understood clearly at this time, and the need for Devi worship becomes stronger.
In the later part of this segment, the next offering is the Sankalpa chanting. So the Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34, it says, Tayaitan mohyate vishvam saiva vishvam prasuyate.
Gives wealth in the materialistic sense. Now, the Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34, here is showing us the compassion of Devi Parashakti. And just by offering this Sankalpa chanting, the understanding that your consciousness works more powerfully than anything else to have the blessings of the divine and literally radiate their own consciousness in you, manifest their consciousness.
It is inscribed with the names of Parashakti. So Lalita Sahasranama, verse 731, it says, Nama Parayana Prita, which means she who likes the repetition of her various names. So this is the offering of 1008 names of Parashakti, and it's a very, very special and unique Archana offered to the Maha.
The beautiful thing about this Sahasranama Kastu actually is that all of the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti are chanted, and all those are the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, which you will be bestowed with. The sacred thing is that the science, so it is a very beautiful science of manifesting oneness with the divine.
Yes. So the next offering is the Mukta Anguti, the finger. Sarvabhishta Falapradam Girisutam Vanirama Sevitam Meenakshim Pranatosmi Santatamaham Karunyavaram Nidhim.
The English translation is the daughter of the mountain and who is worshipped by goddess Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion.
So you can offer the finger ring with the pearl, the Mukta Anguti, to. The next offering is the offering of the golden lotus, the Swarna Padma Pushpam. The Kamikagama it describes Ashtavidyeshwaropeta Kumbhavarana Samyutam Sarvesa Sutra Vastradya Hema Pankaja Pushitaha.
With new cloth, they should be adorned with a lotus flower made of gold. Actually, in the sacred Hindu scripture, the Padma Pushpa, the lotus flower, is referred in so many worship of Paramashiva and the worship of the ultimate. And it always involves the lotus flower, the lotus leaf, lotus pericarp, and lotus petals. And that's why lotus is considered as a divine flower that actually represents Devi herself, as Devi Parashakti sits on the lotus. Now, the significance of lotus in that same way, if we're offering to Devi Parashakti the Swarna Padma Pushpa, we can receive the blessings to radiate the state, space, powers, and being of Devi in your innermost space amidst any and every adverse.
Nakadhititi samchanna namajjanna tamo guna padadbhaya prabhajala parakrita saroruha.
The English translation. Now you can offer the toe ring to Devi, adorning her sacred feet, to be in constant gratitude for receiving her blessings, even in the most difficult parts of your life. Now, Devi Parashakti is adorning her feet always with the sacred toe ring, and it is not you and remove all the ignorance from you. So adorning that toe ring and offering our gratitude to that the feet that literally liberate us is the most sacred offering that we can.
The ultimate. So the Mangtika, the hairline jewelry, it represents the nectar that flows from the crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra.
Presentation here as we are talking, that the nectar which is overflowing from that very lotus, the Sahasrara chakra, which is fully open, understand, 1,000-petaled lotus, which is fully open and literally oozing the nectar out. That nectar is represented by the Mangtika. To Devi and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude and the space of complete completion. Now, before we...
Yes, so the next offering is the beautiful, very special offering, Pratyaksha Pada Puja. So we'll be...
of ignorance in the devotees of prostrating at her feet that defeat the Lord. Now, Shlokam number 83 of the Saundarya Lahari, one of the... You can offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and have the blessings of literally your ignorance being removed entirely. I strongly encourage each and every one of you who are tuning in to surrender all the karmas that you have, everything that you have, and surrender and offer that at the feet of Devi Parashakti and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Sarvadeva Devi Swarupa, the form of all the gods and goddesses, and all the fruition, the blessings, auspiciousness in your life. During this Guru Purnima time, it's a very auspicious time for us to make this offering and for us to offer the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, Devi Parashakti. So this brings us to a conclusion to all of the different offerings. And next we hear Swarna Padma Pushpa, the Swarna Metti and the Swarna Mangtika, and then also the Pratyaksha Pada Puja and Vastra Seva. So all of these, the cost and the availabilities are also written down here. I'm sure many of you are so wanting to make these offerings today, and you really want to, yet maybe the resources or the money or the time is not yet finalized yet, or not yet you're able to make that ready in order to make these offerings immediately. If that is your case, you can fill out the intention details for all of the different offerings and how you can make that manifest in life. And if you are ready for the payment, you can go ahead to tiny.cc/Devi-offerings, and then you can select add to cart. Then once you select add to cart, you'll see all the different items in your cart, and you can go to Sankalpa 2021 form, and this is tiny.cc/Sankalpa 2021. Make sure that you are filling out this form completely so that you can ensure that your names and all the names of your family members are bestowed on you. So also here we have the another beautiful option that is available through YouTube. So first of all, on YouTube, if you go, I'm sure many of you are logged in through Super Chat and Super Sticker option. So you can go to Super Chat, and then you can also choose the Super Sticker option, where you can choose any sticker that you'd like to send as well. And Devi Parashakti during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan will also see and bless. And you can the oneness experience with the divine, and you can manifest whatever you want in your life today. And the way, so many different ways, how you are manifesting and literally you're living the reality that you wanted to live from the very beginning. The United Nations has also recognized the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And after so many decades of persecution, we have seen how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has continuously working in order to bring the Holocaust and the ongoing genocide against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the whole world and making it an example. Today, as we are going on into the next segments, we'll be understanding the details and seeing how the United Nations has recognized the persecution, and seeing more into what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is finally bringing to the international audience. And the segments, we will be seeing the details of all of what has happened. And in this next segment also, we will be also being joined by the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham administrators, who have literally been on the grounds and spiritual alchemy processes through literally his divine presence walking on the land of Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham, which is today serving as one of the foremost places, safest, the Adi Kailasa Sarvagna Peetham ship that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working for the last more than 2 decades. We'll be right back with you after.
Ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any and setting model community. Kailasa. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. Of Hinduism is an ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy spiritual prosperity. It happens whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
Nithyanandam, and welcome to today's segment of the Adi Kailasa ship. Today is an extremely significant day in the history of Kailasa, the only and Hindu civilization. The persecution, ethnocide, genocide, specifically femicide of the Kailasa women's community, the women followers, done an entire study on femicide. Femicide specifically means the killing of women, specifically related to their gender, meaning just because a woman is a woman, killing the woman. And a very in-depth study has been done by the United Nations across various nations across the world, and inputs taken, studies done over various communities, and the inputs and the studies, the analysis taken from various human, the extreme inhuman crime of femicide, which is the killing of, is giving a glimpse of the whole persecution that the women community of Kailasa has gone through. We wanted to share this with you at the outset of this segment, and we'll be going into the details of this in the next, or even the 2 billion Hindus at large today. It is actually a victory, a resounding victory, and an awareness that has been brought to the Hinduism from the face of this planet. On the one hand, we have that, what the world has done to exterminate Hinduism, and on the really powerful way of living our super consciousness, our real existence, and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to live one's true conscious sovereignty. So let us take a look at what still contributes to the world in the same way and with the same intensity, probably more, in the interest of making each its origins, its Holocaust, and how it exists today. And really, the whole civilization, Hindu nation. Let us take a look at the big picture first. Kailasa and its 2 billion Hindus. We have all the details in https://kailasa.org. The 2 billion Hindus and the whole of humanity. Kailasa is the only macrocosmic, ancient, Hindu enlightened civilizational nation to serve the religious and spiritual needs of 2 billion Hindus and the whole of homeland and civilizational nation, for Hindus on par with Israel for Jews, Vatican for Catholics, and Tibet for Buddhists. Kailasa was created with the determination to not just preserve of an enlightened culture and civilization based on authentic Hinduism. The mission of Kailasa. Kailasa is a nation created by dispossessed Hindus from around the world who lost the right to practice Hinduism authentically in their own countries. Though the caste or creed, where they can peacefully live and express their spirituality, arts, and culture free from denigration, interfere, equal, and divine, can reach their highest potential irrespective of their color, nationality, religion, gender, sexual orientation, caste, creed, or race. And now a glimpse about what really is Hinduism. Hinduism represents the world's most yoga, manifesting spiritual powers and the inherent divinity of every being. Hinduism comes of race extermination through a systematic, egregious, and ongoing ethnic cleansing, forced relocation, double killing through genocide, and genocide denial, religious persecution in the form of forceful conversions, massacres, demolition and desecration of temples, confiscation or destruction is done, as Hinduism was once practiced freely in over 56 nations across the continent, from Afghanistan, India, Nepal, Burma, Sri Lanka, all the way to upheaval, colonialism, and religious persecution systematically ended millennia of Hindu Swarajya or self-rule. Today, Hindu temples remain in few countries, but 1,000 years of history will continue to go so in the future unless cognized first and corrected thereafter. The denial of the Holocaust through distortion of history and ideological indoctrination is the last gate and obliterate the memory of the obfuscation and obliteration. This strategy has been successful as today nobody knows or even speaks of the unbroken continuum of annihilation of the Hindus. Hindus have over the past over 2,000 years been subject to mass murder, multiple perpetrator rapes, level. All levels, literally physical, mental, emotional, cultural, religious, political, economical, social, and much more.
freedom, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailas, I will revive his and setting model community. Powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually.
Nithyananda? Yes. So next we're going to see how this glorious Hindu civilization went through unprecedented persecution over millennia. Islamic invaders starting from 800 to 1700 AD, where the physical destruction of Hindu civilization happened. Slaughters of Hindus, forced conversions, abduction of Hindu women and children to slave the markets, and the destruction of temples carried out by the warriors. And all of this happened between 880 to 1700 AD, when the millions of Hindus were converted by 1 million deities and sculptures were destroyed. The conquering armies burnt villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flogged with thongs of law. Al-Hidayah, one of the most influential works of second, it is then incumbent on all the Muslims to call upon the God for assistance and make a war upon them, because God is the assistance of those who serve him, and destroyer of his enemies. Says no to conversion, or if he says no to pay tax for not being converted, then you have every right and must inundate with water and tear up their plantations and tread down their grain, because by these means they will become weakened, and their resolution will fail and their force be broken. These means rape of a continent. Abdullah Wasaf, describing the Islamic law prescribed for Hindus as converted to Alauddin Khilji by his qazi or legal advisor, who says that Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded, the Prophet had already ordained, if the Hindus do not accept Islam, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death, and their properties must be confiscated. To keep the Hindus in abasement is especially this manual of this religion. So therefore, the entire community who invaded India deployed all means possible to physically destroy the backstaining some laws, submitted but was restored to his dominions. The name of Nagarkota was on this occasion changed to that of Mohammedabad. Sultan Feroze on this occasion broke the idols of Nagarkota and mixing the fragment to be thrown on the road that it might be trodden underfoot by the pilgrims. The Hindu prisoners were divided into 4 sections and taken to each of the bosoms of their mothers, and their corpses left there. The economic and the psychological destruction of Hindu civilization happened with that. I have seen great people starving to death before my eyes, and I am convinced that this exhaustion and starvation are not due, as their beneficiary claims, to be overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sorrow in the artificially created famine by the British occupied India in Bengal. During the British occupation, and 680 native kingdoms usurped by the British Raj. The British came to one of the richest countries of the world over 200 years of extent, British master race theory. Using theories of scientific Darwinism, racism, and social Darwinism, the British justified their conquest and oppression of dark-skinned people. England was her wealth. The glorious work which God seems to have laid on the English race to replenish the earth and subdue it. Charles Kingsley, celebrated professor, historian, friend of Charles Darwin, and priest in the vices of falsehood, indeed, they carry to a height almost unexampled among the other races of men. As for religion, no people have ever drawn a more gross, and the eunuch excels in the qualities of the slave. The Mohammedan is more manly. The use of their own sacred books and prevented them from all exercise of their religion. They destroyed their temples and so harassed and interfered with the people such that they abandoned the colonial subjugation, the divide and rule. The British had been horrified during the revolt of 1857 to see Hindus and Muslims fighting side by side under each other's command against the foreign oppressor. They vowed this when the two communities was launched over the British sponsorship. The colonial subjugation, the British inferiority, engineered famines to starve natives into submission, annexed Hindu kingdoms to undermine the native rule, mistranslated Hindu scriptures to instill anti-Hindu narratives, destroyed indigenous Gurukul education system, the spirit of the people. Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he says, "I hate Indians. They are beastly people with beastly religion. The famine was their own fault for breeding like rabbits." Harsh British tax and export policies and pour children into the river and wells, whilst others committed suicide to escape from their living hell. Local handloom industry through harsh taxation and export policies that forced Hindus to import British-made textiles and banned the Indian textiles from being sold. And by 1878, Indian Railways mechanics in Jamalpur in Bengal and Ajmer in Rajputana had become so proficient at maintaining the locomotive strings that they stopped colonial masters and destroyed the native technological know-how. Seizure, taxation, and the ruin of Hindu temples. It was strange but determined piece of policy when changed. The revenues of Tripati are on a gradual decline and will die in the lapse of years a natural death. Some of the most celebrated temples in the country are worse off, but they are still restricted to high caste Hindus. But their own surveys revealed that every village had at least one school, and the Sudras and other low caste children constituted 70 to 84% of the students. In us and the millions whom we govern, a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinion, in moral and in intellect. To that class, we may leave it to refine the. Despite their best efforts to adopt the English language, clothing and mannerisms, the anglicized brown British native clerks of India were often viewed with contempt and ridiculed as Bengali babus, British gentlemen. Concern nationalism after the Indian Mutiny of 1857, the British realized that to strengthen their education of 1837, to create a class of people who are Indian in blood and color, but English in opinions, in morals, and in intellect, that became the cornerstone of their colonial authorities simply because they did not conform to the idea of civilized living. Their idea of civilized living, it is not even the idea of civilized living. They targeted populations. Upon release from British custody, the targeted communities were subjected to surveillance and given tattoos to stigmatize them and make them easier to track. Criminalizing the thuggies or bandits who would offer the human sacrifices to the wicked and fearsome goddess Kali. The image of thuggies was promoted worldwide as an hegemony. The secular India, where the Hindu temples were looted and neglected. Post-independence, the Indian state continued the British policy of taxing and managing the wealth and properties of all the major Hindu temples, despite claiming to be recognized by UNESCO, are in ruins. Even the daily rituals are not performed. Some temples remain closed throughout the day with no one to even light the lamps. If you take the case of Shika Brahmachari, a strict celibate, as such, women of reproductive age are forbidden to enter the temple out of respect for Ayyappa and to maintain the sanctity of the spiritual ecosystem. Otherwise, in almost 1,000 reasons for spiritual ecosystem present in Sabarimala temple. Scriptures and oral tradition explain that the celibate male energy present in Sabarimala is actually harm to the female fertile body. Anti-Hindu social activists for years as part of their broader campaign to delegitimize Hindus as sexiest and patriarchal position is being destroyed. So you can see openly it is a statement made by somebody in the government that is so anti-Hindu, like so much of religious intolerance is inculcated to Hindus in this of propaganda against the enemy supported by such military, economical, or the political measures may as be required. Such propaganda is generally intended to demoralize the enemy, to break his will to fight or motion pictures, etc. The secular India in which the media narratives used to stereotype and demoralize the Hindus. Bollywood and many other mainstream media outlets consistently portray Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, dishonest, corrupt sects in the light of the anti-Hindu colonial stereotypes perpetuated in modern India. The relentless campaign of psychological warfare waged on Hindu minds by the British and their brown successors spent billions of money annually on fairness cream to lighten their skin to be more like their former British masters. The 24 went through 3 different phases of Hindu Holocaust, the first being the physical destruction by the Islamic invaders, the next being the identity delegitimization and the double genocide. At this stage, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasaya, and as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, because of the amount of hard work and the amount of revolution that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has created in last 26. In the next segment, we're going to see some of the important contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in combating the ongoing pandemic and how he has opened. So before we go to the next segment, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
In your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution, model community, Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world.
Have fun. It's a fundamental truth.
So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem.
Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. When you protect dharma, dharma protects you.
We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual.
Welcome back. And now, as we shared at the start of this segment, we will go over the recognition report on the prevention of femicide has been published on the website. What does this report detail about? Let us take a look. Such as rape, sexual violence, gender-based harassment, female infanticide happen unabated in India. As Bhagwan said, the erosion of the true Hindu to the Thomson Reuters Foundation 2018 survey. That's a very concerning statistic for a nation which is, for Bharat, which is known to be proud for the position that it has always given women. According to a number of years now, have been weaponized against minority women and children, especially by extremist militant elements at the highest levels of governance. This weaponization of sexual violence targeting women and children is part of a more persisted in India for millennia. One such indigenous spiritual tradition currently targeted for extermination by the neo-Hindutva extremist militants is the Hindu Adishaiva neo-Hindutva extremist militant forces. The ASMT explicitly rejects extremism of all types. The extremist militant elements are opposed to ASMT's stance when it comes to the rights of women. As we all know, Bhagwan has declared himself to be transcendental gender and possessing multiple gender components. The neo-Hindutva extremists see LGBTQ+ rights as immoral. The ASMT freely ordains women into sannyas, recognizes 11 extremists.
In the last decade, especially in India, there has been an alarming trend in the mainstream media and the social media of sensational screening and manufacture of misinformation and hate speech that is marginalizing minority communities, especially targeting and to delegitimize her guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Newspapers with vulgar captions. The media published fake interviews of the ASMT actress Ranjita for defaming her. Nakir. This smear campaign is just not limited to ASMT. In 2009, a 12-year-old ASMT girl was kidnapped and molested by the new Hindutva extremist. The US court sentenced the child rapist to 57 months of imprisonment. This did not. Were all rejected by the court with a penalty for defamation with cost. In India, however, the neo-Hindutva media ran 14,000 hours of sex slaves and also published violence inciting prejudice narratives such as hang the Sen Swamis, Hindu monks and the nuns. Several media houses continue to publish such, and the Indian state departments are perceived as one of the most corrupt in the world. The mainstream Indian media and social media influencers exercise a massive influence on the available in India. In India, like we mentioned before, the court orders are not upheld by the government. The Indian government and the Indian state departments are perceived as one of the most corrupt in the world, and the mainstream Indian media and the social media influence explicitly mentioned how the court was prone to prejudice by this negative media propaganda. Though the media can influence the judiciary in India, the court judgments are toothless in curbing the media hate propaganda. Neo-Hindutva. The ASMT actress Ranjita, the victim of the celebrity deepfake petition in the High Court of Karnataka and implementation of the order of various quasi-legal institutions. Finally, the media's self-regulatory quasi-legal body, the NBSA, ordered propaganda to date. Any complaint on the media in the High Court is redirected to NBSA, BCCC, and any such other bodies which do not ever have a website. As a self-regulatory body is a toothless and is known to disregard its own guidelines and orders, even when the member channels ridicule and shame dead celebrities. The NHRC, the National Human Rights Commission, the Paramashivoham, of raping his own biological mother, a Hindu nun, on the occasion of his father's sad demise. The channel went on to justify their sad sexual objectifications. The Indian media kept marginalizing the ASMT nuns and girls with the defamatory sexualized allegations. In 2017, a court list continued the smear campaign. On 2nd of March 2010, the sensational and repeated screening of the fabricated deep and the Neo-Hindutva terrorist. On 7th of June 2012, Bengaluru, Neo-Hindutva militants attacked on the ASMT monastery. On 17th of September 2013, the Karnataka State Department of Women and Children forcibly, cruelly, and illegally interrogated children in the ASMT school, which is Gurukul. The interrogation was done without the consent avoided by as per the lifestyle of the ASMT community. The lawyer of the school was sued by the state for intervening in the violations of the rights of the children and the parents. In October 2015, an ASMT female monk was molested and escaped an attempted rape by a Neo-Hindutva militant. Videos depicting Nithyananda and the ASMT children were uploaded on social media by unknown groups. In November, it was forced to be withdrawn by the court. Instead, a false case was charged against the women Hindu heads, and they were kept under the custody for almost 3 months, female spiritual leaders. Vexatious litigations have been used to persecute female Hindu spiritual leaders on absurd allegations of indecent dressing, booking in under anti-superstitious law. So what we have seen today is essentially the glorious contributions from the Sanatana Hindu Dharma and how especially the female monks and the children of the ASMT community is targeted by the Neo-Hindutva groups and the paid media. So the report has been published and acknowledged. So now we will be entering into the celebrations of Guru Purnima from the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya from Bidadi, Bangalore. So stay tuned to join us for the celebrations of Guru Purnima.
Kailasa. Listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, is Kailasa.
Who is participating in this puja to come and settle down.
చలిత భ్రమితం